A very warm good morning to all my dear students. Welcome back to our English class. Today I will be going to teach you something related to the agreement between the subject and verb. We have already studied about the main verb. We already talked about the auxiliary or the helping verb and the modal verbs in our previous class. Today let's begin with the subject verb agreement. So once we start with this lesson, before we should know that what exactly a sentence is. So what is a sentence? Sentence is a group of words that tells or gives a complete thought that makes complete sense. No, it is a group of words which gives us a complete sense. It should be arranged in a proper order. So that is what a sentence is. So now let's take one example. Dad has a blue car. So here a sentence is giving us a complete meaning. Dad has a blue car. But if I say dad has, do we get a meaning? No, because there is something which is incomplete. We come to know about the subject dad, we has the verb, that auxiliary verb has, but still it is not providing a complete meaning. So what is the part of of a sentence then? The part of the sentence is that the sentence should consist of subject, verb and object, as I have shown you. So now what is subject? Let us talk about subject. Subject is a naming part. It can be either a noun or pronoun. So what does the subject do? Subject is something what or who does the action, or who or what the sentence is about. So this is what the subject is. Like we read that sentence, that is dad has a blue car. So what the subject has? We are talking about that person. So that is what the subject is. Now coming to the sentence again. Kavya threw the ball. So here the subject is Kavya. Why? Because this is what is going to do the action. So Kavya does the action, and that is why it is a subject. Now what is verb then? Verb is a action verb, as we know. So it shows the action of the subject, what someone or something is doing. So here when we talk about Kavya threw the ball, so what the subject is doing, what the action is been performed by Kavya. So what she is doing, the action is threw. She threw the ball. So threw is the action. Now coming to the third one is the object. So object is what? Who or what has received the action, or the receiver of the subject's action is the object. So what we learned till now, what is a sentence? Sentence is a group of words which gives us a complete sense, and the part of the sentence is subject, verb and object. Now let's proceed. Kavya threw the ball. So here the ball is the receiver of the action taken by the subject. So here the ball becomes the object. Okay, so what we learn? Subject, verb and object, and it has a agreement among each other. So let us talk about the subject verb agreement, which is our topic today. So subject verb agreement, it relates with the subject. First of all, let us see what kind of subject do we have. If we have a subject which is plural, like I have given you one example, they. So they is plural, we are using this particular they word for the group of people. But when we are using they with the be verb in the present tense is, and if we construct a sentence by writing they is writing a letter, is it correct? No, because our subject is plural. So that is why the auxiliary verb which we are going to use should be also in the plural form. So that is why we can reframe the sentence by writing they are writing, because subject is plural. That is why the verb should always be written in the plural form. Now coming to the subject verb agreement, how can we come to know that what should be the agreement between the subject and the verb? So there are some rules in our book. So let us go with the rules. So let us go with first rule. Rule number 1. When we talk about the singular subject, it can be anyone. It can be a single person or an animal or a place or a thing. When we are talking about a singular subject, then the verb which we are going to use with that particular person, animal or place, it should also be written in the singular verb. Okay. But when we are talking about the plural subject, like when it is more than one person, more than one animal, more than one place, more than one thing, then the agreement of the verb should be also plural. So with the singular subject we should have singular plurals, whereas verbs, whereas when we are having the plural subject we should have the plural verbs. So with the help of the example, let us talk now. We have the dog. Okay, here we are talking about a single dog. So dog barks. Here dog is singular, and when we write bark with S, it tells us about the singularity of the action taken by the animal. So barks is a singular verb. Because why we are using barks here? Because we are having the singular subject. But when we talk about the group of dog, so when we have dogs, so the verb which we are going to use will be also in the plural form. So we will not write barks, we will write bark. So what is happening? Dog barks, because dog is singular, so barks is singular. When we talk about dogs plural, then bark will be plural. Okay, this is how you have to understand. This is the first rule, talking about the singularity and the plurality of the subject and the verb agreement. Subject is singular, verb should be singular. Subject is plural, verb should be plural. Okay, so let us talk about some more examples. Like when we talk about the subject, what we basically do, we add s, like toys, birds, umbrellas, all those. So what we do, when we make the plural, we take the use of s. But when we are talking about the verb, so verb do not form their plural by adding s. Okay, so when we are talking about the verbs, it never forms by only adding s. Sometimes we can use s, sometimes we can use es. So when we are talking about the plural of the verb, we never use s. When do we use s or es? When we are talking about the singular, yes, singular verb. Don't get confused, okay? So verbs do not form their plural by adding s. This is why I have repeated the content again. Subject, when we make the plural, we add s. But when we have to make the plural of the verb, we never use s. Okay, it will remain as a root word or a base word. The verb will be the base. Okay, it will never we will never use s or es. So here, like they have given you some of the example. So when we make the verb as a singular, remember, when we make the verb for the singular verb, then we add s or es. Okay, but if we are talking about the plural, we never write that. Like I gave you the example, dog barks, dogs bark. Understand? So this is how we can make the difference. Again, the same sentence which I explained right now. Then subject verb agreement. Here we are talking about the verb, the singular and the plural. So when we talk about the singular verb, we always use s. Singular. When we make singular, we use s. But when we make plural, we never use s. This is what I am repeating it. Okay. Here I repeated, verb do not form their plural by adding s. Okay, so we will not use s when we are forming the plural of the verb. Got it? Now, this is what the subject verb agreement. Let us go with one example. Raman goes to school daily. Raman is singular. No? A boy. And when we are having the subject singular, the verb should always be written in the singular. That is why to make the verb singular, what we do? We use s or es. To make the verb singular, I am repeating, to make the verb singular, we use s or es. Okay, whereas when we talk about the plural subject like Raman and Sumit, they are plural now, two people, no, two child. So when we talk about two subject, at that time the verb should never be used in the form by adding s. It should be remain in the plural form. So go will remain go. So it will become Raman and Sumit go to school daily. So there are here when to use the verb with s or es, or when we have to make the verb as it is. So when we talk about the singular subject, what are they? He, she, it. These are the singular subject. Whereas what are the plural subject? They, we, and you. So here when we talk about, supposing I have given one example of the verb speak. So because he, she, it is singular, that is what we did. We use s with the main verb, so it becomes he speaks, she speaks, it speaks. But when we are having the plural subject like they, we, and you, so we will not use s, so it will become they speak, we speak, you speak. Okay, now this is how we can use the verb with the other form in the past tense and in the past perfect tense also. So we can use, for the singular we can use is in the present tense, was in the past tense, and has in the present perfect tense. But when we are talking about the future tense, when we are talking about the plural subject, then we use are in the present tense, were in the past tense, and have in the present perfect. So you have, we were, they are. Okay, now this is that was the first rule. Now coming to the second rule. Here we are talking about the helping verb, and as I told you right now, be verb is mr, and then we converted into was and were. As you can see here, is will be converted into are in the plural, was will be converted into were in the past tense as a plural, has will be converted into have when we are talking about the plural. So here they are talking about the helping verb like has or do or does, like we did one example. No, uh, uh, if you remembered, I talked about a boy. Raman goes to school. No, or Raman and Sumit go to school. In the same manner, do and does is been used. Okay, so does is used with the singular, and has is also used with the singular, and we can use he, she, and it. Now, when we are talking about do and have, so the plural form of the verb does will be do. They do. We do our homework. He does his homework. Got the difference? He does the homework. We do our homework. He has a blue car. They have a car. So here we can make the difference now. How to use does and do, has and have. This is the second rule. Okay, so here let us elaborate this particular rule. He, she, it are the singular pronoun, as I am going on telling you from so many days. No, so whenever we are talking about the singular noun, we have to make the verb as a singular. So what we do, we instead of writing do, we will write does. He does, she does, it does. Okay, and when we are talking about the perfect tense, then we use has. So she has, he has, it has, and so on. But when we are talking about the plural noun, children, so the children do, or the children have. No, the children do their homework, children have done their homework. We never say children has done. Children, we are talking about the people, group of people. Okay, so here children have, children do. Okay, let us go to the next one. When we are talking about the questioning sentences, okay, interrogative sentences. So does he speaks English? Does he speak English? Does. Why we use does? Because we are having the singular subject he, and that is why the verb should be in the singular verb. Whereas when we go to the second sentence, do they speak English? So they is a plural subject, and that is why the verb which we are using is also plural verb. verb. Okay, so this is how we have to understand. Now coming to the third rule, subject verb agreement, where we are talking about the singular noun or a pronoun, or a singular noun or a pronoun when we are connecting it. Okay, listen to this very carefully. When we are having singular noun or a pronoun which is connected again with the singular noun or a pronoun with some of the options like or, either or, neither nor, then what should be the verb? So always remember, when we are having the singular subject, singular noun or a pronoun, although it is connected with or, either or, neither nor, then also the verb should be always in the singular form. For example, I have given you some example. She drink coffee or tea. So here she is singular, and that is why the verb which we have used, drink, is also written in singular. Now, as a rule number 3 suggests, that if it is connected with either or, neither nor, then what shall we do? So either Raj or Ravita. So here we are talking not about both the person, we are talking about either of the one. So as our subject is singular, that is why the verb should always be in the singular. That is the rule number 1. So it will be cooks. Either Raj or Ravita cooks food. Okay? Or neither my brother nor my sister has a picture book. Why has? Why we have used has? Because we are having either my brother or my sister, not both of them together, either of the one. No, both of them, neither he or she has a book. So that is why the verb has is used there, because we are talking about the singular subject. Got it? Now, the example which we have given, Simi or her sister. Simi or her sisters. Here Simi is singular or her sisters. Again we are talking about a particular group. Okay, so here Simi is singular whereas her sister is plural. Okay, either Simi or her sisters play football. Now, when we are talking about any of the subject in which we have two different subject, where one subject is singular and which is not very close to the main verb, whereas if we are having the subject which is plural and which is very close or very near to the verb, then what will be the action of the verb? The agreement should be that because we are talking about the plural subject which is near to the verb, that is why the verb should always be written in the plural form. So either Simi or her sisters. Her sisters is a subject which is close to the verb play. No, and that is why according to the subject her sisters, the verb play has to make an agreement. Because this is plural, the verb should also be written in the plural. Okay, so that is why either Simi or her sisters play. Sisters play. Understood? Then let us see the other example. If we interchange the place, either her sister or Simi. Supposing like in the previous sentence, either Simi or her sisters, because her sister is near to the word play, so we kept the word play as a plural because sisters are plural. But if we interchange the place and if we write either her sisters or Simi, so here Simi is singular which is nearest or close to the verb play, and because Simi is singular, that is why the verb play should also be written in the singular. So we will write plays. Understood? By taking this particular two sentence, now it is very clear it should be very clear in your mind. Then when to use the verb. Okay, this is rule number 3. Let's go to the last rule, rule number 4. And here, this is something talking about when we are having the subject and we have the plural verbs where two or more nouns or pronouns are connected by, not by either or, neither or. Here, when we are connecting it with the conjunction and, then what to do? So here, when we are using two subject and they are connected with the conjunction and, then what should be the verb? Because we are talking about two people, we are not having any choice here, neither nor either or, we don't have that. Here we are having both the two subjects there, and because we have two subjects, that is why the verb should also be in the plural form, and that is why we have written Ayushman and Vihan are going to the art class. Okay, Prema, Liti and I go to school together. My brother and I eat an apple every day. Shamira and Priyanshi have black frogs. Okay, so this is how we have read. So we come across with the helping verbs. We come to know what are the singular noun and pronoun he, she and it, and what are the verb which we are using with he, she, it, is, was, does and has. So what are the plural pronouns? Plural pronouns are we and they. And what are the verbs we can use? Are, were, do and have. Okay, so this is how we have studied today, and I have given you all the rules. I hope you must have understood all the basic 4 rules. Now what you have to do is go to your workbook, open your workbook and proceed with the worksheet. Okay, the exercise which is given in your book. Till then, take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day ahead.